Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Rowland, workforce is going to play a large role in the next few years, decades, especially in our rural areas. And my understanding is you have an apprenticeship program in your water area. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Thank you for the question, Senator. As you mentioned, we are members of a apprenticeship program that's provided through Alabama Rural Water that they have put together with the Labor Department. First off, I'd like to say you were talking about the aging workforce. I'm one of them. I'm getting to an age where I'm looking at retirement. Our system currently right now has 6 certified operators. Of those 6 certified operators, four of us are at retirement age or quickly approaching. In fact, I've got one operator that's retiring this month. So it is imperative that we can get younger people involved, hired in the system, and get them trained, provide the proper training. We've found out by partnering with Alabama Rural Water Association and the apprenticeship program that they can provide an avenue that we can get our employees classroom time to get the education that they need in order to pass certification, state certification, so that they can become licensed operators. It's also hands-on, work under a mentor type program. And I'm proud to say that right now we've got one employee that is in the apprenticeship program. He is fixing to finish it. He's already acquired his Alabama State certification, and we've got another employee we're fixing to put in there. And I'd also like to mention that the employee that we have in the apprenticeship program right now that's finishing up will be the first graduate in the state of Alabama in the apprenticeship program. So I feel that it's very important, Senator, that we look out for young people and try to bring them into the field and get them involved, and that we have ways to get them educated and also give them the tools that they need so that they can go out and make the taps, put in the services. And
do you have any recommendations for the Farm Bill that we're putting together for workforce development?
Yes, sir. If we can get these, as you know, the apprenticeship program was started with rural development funds back in 2018. Coming forward, anything that we can get in to help with the technical assistance and training that is in the Farm Bill, if we can get any help, any more help in there, I honestly believe that that would be a great benefit to us.
Mr. Kimbrough, do you have any workforce development in your area?
Yes, sir, Senator, we do. We work with our local and regional state to do that. Yes, sir, sure do, and very successful at it. Of course, you know, the success of businesses moving in is to have the people to employ, and that's very critical.
You know, most people don't know where your region is in the part of Alabama. You're not actually on the Gulf, but you do see quite a bit of devastation from tornadoes to hurricanes, as we saw a few years ago.
Right.
And you have huge problems with electric and water anytime we have this devastation. Speak to the importance of being able to utilize all energy sources like natural gas. Tell me about your experiences with that.
Yes, sir. Well, as CEO of Wiregrass Electric Cooperative, I'm concerned about reliability and affordability. They're both important. We would like to see an all approach where one size doesn't fit all. We certainly depend on a lot of generation resources, and we need that capacity. Certainly after these storms, we need to have the reliability is very critical, and having access to that affordability and reliability is critically important as we move forward in this country.
Yeah, I'd like to ask all of you this question. If you want to add in on this, what what problems do you see with smaller water systems as compared to the larger water systems? Mr. Brolin, we'll start with you in terms of getting funding. How do we fight that problem for rural areas?
Thank you for the question, Senator. Going through the RD apply process can be very tedious and cumbersome. I've done it myself before, and it takes time. You have to provide engineering reports, as a lot of these other people have testified today. You have to fill out all their paperwork, get budgets together. They want 5-year capital improvement budgets, and they want, your audited reports. So there's a lot that goes into it. And fortunately, we've got enough people at our system that I could do it myself and work through the process along with our engineering firm. But there's so many water systems throughout the state of Alabama that don't have the people and the resources to do that themselves. And there does need to be a vehicle where they can assist these smaller systems. And that's one of the things that Alabama Rural Water does supply. They have people and they have the resources. They can go out and they can call on these smaller systems if they have a need. If they reach out and they say, hey, we want to apply for some rural development funds, that they've got the people that can assist them and get these applications filled out and turned in.
Mr. Kimbrough.
Yes, sir, Senator. Infrastructure is so important. Water, sewer, electricity, broadband, everything for our community. And in rural America, which I represent, if you don't have those things, then people aren't coming, businesses aren't coming, they're not providing jobs and not providing hope for quality of life for our rural America. So it's majorly important. And I would just say that the programs that are in place, like the Rural Utility Services Program, RUS, FEMA after natural disasters, those are really helpful programs that really helps rural America not be left behind, and that's majorly important.
Yeah, one more question, if I could. We want good. I want everybody to answer this one. Man-made disasters, cyber attacks. Who wants to start? Have you had any problems with it? How did you overcome it? And what do you see down the road to be able to stop it? Have at it. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you for bringing up that subject. At our water system 10 years ago, we ended up getting, I don't know, we think it came through email, but we ended up getting ransomware. They locked all of our files up. We couldn't access any of our customer files. We couldn't get into any of our company files. Fortunately, this happened on a weekend, on a Friday, and it was a long weekend. I believe it was Labor Day weekend. And we were able to call we have an IT team that works with us. We were able to call them in. They were able to come in and take all of our servers offline. They stripped the hard drives, got everything off of it, then reinstalled the software, then put the data and everything back in from backups to get us back up and running. But it is a real threat. I'm afraid that it's growing right now. And there's a lot of things that need to be done, and I think that training and technical assistance in that area is greatly needed. But it's scary when you're in a situation like that. Fortunately, I can say that none of our customers' information was compromised, or none of our company's information was compromised. But it's scary because you don't know what's going to happen. And the funny thing about it, when we were hacked and they got into our files, they never sent anything wanting a ransom. They just tied everything up. So, but that's our experience.
Anybody else?
Yes, sir, Senator. We were actually had a cyber attack hit our system in July 3rd of 21, and we were down 4 days, mostly out of precaution, just going through things and making sure we didn't bring it back up, and before we knew we were safe. But it's a real concern. We spent a lot of resources, human resources, dollars, of course. The bad guys get smarter, it seems, every day, and what worked today, they figured out, so you're constantly chasing that. It's a very big concern, and in some cases it locks us down to where it's not as friendly to do business with us as we would like. Like speaking credit card information over the phone, you can't do, because you're not PCI compliant in those regards. And our members, we want to make sure their information is protected. Certainly their financial information, credit card information, and so on, so forth. It's a major concern. We spend a lot of resources looking at it, and literally hope and pray every day that nothing bad happens.
Any other experiences? Go ahead.
From a NACO perspective, it doesn't matter which one of the 3,069 counties, parishes, or boroughs we represent, I think we have to recognize with cybersecurity, it's not a fair fight. The bad guys only have to be right once to win. We have to be right every day, every hour to win. And there's many of those local governments that don't have the resources, don't have the capacity to make sure that they're state-of-the-art, that continual improvement on cybersecurity. It's something that I think it's only going to get worse, and it's something we've got to recognize.
I would just offer, we've been digging into this in Vermont as well. Frankly, one of the saving graces, if it can be considered that we've discovered is many of our smallest water systems aren't actually connected to the outside world, and that is their best form of prevention. I don't know that that's long-term sustainable, and certainly comes with other costs. And we're starting from square one oftentimes for locales that are connected to the internet with some sort of remote access. Oftentimes folks haven't even set passwords. So thinking, to the minds of the bad guys and who are constantly advancing, and we're still at the stage where many of these systems have the default passwords remaining in there as the access point. Is a challenging set of circumstances. So there's an enormous need for education, understanding, building that awareness. Vermont is challenged by the fact that we don't have county government, as Ted has spoken to, 250 plus municipal entities, 400 plus public water systems. And so figuring out how to deliver those services in partnership with Vermont Rural Water is the direction we're headed.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking. As the insurer for most of the state's water and sewer systems, I can simply point to how hard it is to insure these things. And they're really uncovered. When these things do happen, oftentimes it is the town itself that needs to shoulder the burden, the system itself that needs to shoulder the burden, because that market's so hard, because it is such a risk.
So you can't buy insurance for this?
In Vermont, you get a very minimal amount of coverage, not enough to restore the system in the worst case scenario.
Yeah. Interesting.